In this video, I'm sharing the SEO strategies I've used to make sales as a beginner on Etsy, so let's get into it. Hi, I'm Shay. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, I share videos all about Etsy. I am a beginner to Etsy. I started my shop in January of this year, and my goal is to grow it to a six-figure business by the end of 2023. So on this channel, I share my progress towards that goal, and I also share all the strategies that I'm doing to meet that. So if that interests you, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment and check out my other videos as well. I have a lot of videos about Etsy. This video is part 4 of a 5-part series that I've been doing where I'm revealing all of my strategies that I've used to break into the marketplace and build a successful shop in just a few months as a beginner. So the topic of this video is SEO, which is one of the most talked about topics when it comes to Etsy. But before we get into that, I just briefly wanted to thank you guys for the condolences and the kind words that you shared with the passing of my grandfather. I posted a video a couple weeks ago where I mentioned that I had been traveling due to my grandfather's passing, and I did want to elaborate a little bit more. So I got a call from my grandma. This was in the middle of April, and she informed me that my grandfather's health was really, really bad. So I literally just dropped everything, booked a one-way flight, and was able to see my grandfather. I was able to chat with him, and then later that evening, he actually went into a coma, and then he passed away a few days later. So it was amazing that I was able to be there and just be with my family during a hard time. And then I ended up just staying there to help my grandma with funeral preparations and things like that. So I'm really grateful that I was able to just drop everything and do that, and I was still able to work on my Etsy even when I was clear across the country. And it really just made me think that things like that are really the reason why I'm building this Etsy shop in the first place. It's so I have the flexibility to be there for my family if I need to, or even just be able to travel anywhere and still make an income. So I'm super grateful for literally every single sale that I get on Etsy, because I know it's just one step closer to being able to have a fully remote and flexible form of income. Okay, so let's actually get into this video. So when it comes to SEO, I have kind of a controversial opinion about it. I actually don't think SEO plays a major role in your success on Etsy. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do SEO or that you shouldn't, do proper research into keywords, but I am saying that I don't think SEO really is the reason your items sell or don't sell on Etsy. I think it's kind of like old school Etsy advice to focus a lot on SEO, and that could have been the case back in the day. You could list a crappy product, but if you had good SEO, it would be #1 in search and you would be fine. But I think these days, with how competitive Etsy is, especially in the digital product space and in the print on demand space, SEO is kind of like the bare minimum. Like, everyone has good SEO, it seems. I think what's more important is a good niche, good competitive designs, and competitive mockups. And then once you've got those, the SEO is just the cherry on top that's going to help your product. So I did just want to give that quick disclaimer before I got too far into SEO. Please go and watch my niche videos, my designs videos, so that you already have a good product before you spend a ton of time on SEO, because no amount of SEO will help you sell a product that's just not competitive. So getting into it, when I do SEO research, there are 4 main questions that I'm asking myself. The first are, what are my golden keywords for this product? A golden keyword is a keyword that has low competition and high search volume, preferably is a long tail keyword, maybe with like 3 or 4 words in there, although that's not necessary. But most products are going to have 1 or 2 of these really, really powerful keywords. So just be sure to make note of those because we'll make sure to repeat those in our titles and tags. And then the second thing I ask is, what are the keywords that the top best-selling listings for this product are using? And then I also look at the bestsellers that are from newer shops, because the keywords that worked to get a best-selling listing back in the day might be a little bit different than what's currently working for bestsellers that are from newer shops. So I pay close attention to that. And then the last thing I'm looking for is just what are some variations or alternative related keywords that a shopper would potentially be looking for. So let's go ahead and hop on over to my computer where I will go into detail about each of these questions and share an example of how I actually do my SEO research. Okay, so here's an example of what the spreadsheet looks like that I use to keep track of keywords. So I know it's not a pretty spreadsheet, but it gets the job done, and it's simply just for taking notes and keeping track of my keywords. So I put in my product here. I'm going to pick up where we left off on the wedding itinerary product type. I think we found that during the niche research video. That's a product that I wanted to look into further. What I do is I have those 4 questions, and so I have space to jot down the golden keywords that we're going to find, and then we're going to pull keywords from some of the top listings, from the newer bestsellers as well, and then I just have space for additional keywords that we find in our research. And then why I love tracking this in a spreadsheet is because it allows me to be really organized with how I track the different versions and variations of the product. In my other videos, I talk about how I do list multiple variations of the same product, and between those variations, I do change the SEO slightly, just to kind of give the product a better chance of selling and a better chance of the Etsy algorithm picking it up. This is where I'll actually keep track of the different titles and tags that I'm using for each of the versions. Okay, so let's actually dive into Erank and start looking for those golden keywords. Okay, so I'm over in Erank's keyword tool, and I just typed in wedding itinerary, and already that looks like a really great keyword. The competition is slightly high, but maybe we can find a different variation that's even better. So I like to scroll down to the keyword ideas, because Erank will suggest like long tail alternatives and things like that. So wedding itinerary template is already better. That is a really good keyword. And this one's even better, wedding weekend itinerary template. So that would absolutely be our golden keyword. Okay, so I'm gonna jot that down here, if I can spell. And then I am just going to prioritize these by order of how good they are, so we know that this first keyword is the absolute best. Now I'm going to look further into Erank and start grabbing some keywords from the top listings. Okay, so we're also going to go into Etsy and look at bestsellers and what keywords they're using, but I like doing this in Erank too. So what I do is I scroll to the bottom, it shows the top listings. I like to sort by daily views, high to low, because that's going to show most likely the most popular, the listings that are getting the most views per day. And holy cow, some of these are like insanely popular listings. I don't know what other kind of marketing this shop might be doing in order to get these kinds of views. But anyways, this is a great way to see some of the top listings. And so what I do is I just scroll and I'll just start jotting down and just making note of some of the keywords that they're using. This one, they include timeline and checklists. I think that those are probably good keywords like wedding timeline, wedding checklist. So that's something to note. They have wedding weekend in there. They've got wedding planner. And same thing here. So these little things are the tags. So yeah, a lot of this wedding checklist, wedding planning, wedding binder, that's a good one. So you'll start to see patterns and keywords that seem to be performing well among some of the top listings. So I do like to cross-check these keywords in Erank to make sure that they still have good, like low competition and high search. Just because there could be, like, for instance, digital template, that's not going to be a great keyword. So just because a bestseller is using it doesn't mean I'm going to use it. You definitely want to check each of these in Erank. But maybe if you have space, and that's probably what this person did, because they had extra space, they just added that in there. So you either can search each of them individually in Erank, or if you actually click on the listing in Erank, it'll show you the stats for each of their tags, not their title, their tags. So it'll give us a better idea. So wedding checklist, that's actually probably another golden keyword. That's a really, really great keyword. Wedding planner is okay. I would still use it. Wedding timeline is amazing. We already saw wedding itinerary. Wedding binder is also good. So, okay, this gives us a great list. So I'm just going to jot the rest of these down in our spreadsheet. So I've jotted down what we found in Erank. Then the next thing is I also want to actually look in Etsy at some of the bestsellers and see what titles and tags they're using. Okay, so I've just searched wedding weekend itinerary. This isn't in an incognito tab because I want to use Allura, but it's kind of messed up because I was looking up wedding invitations previously. So yeah, I don't think it's necessarily pulling up what it would look like for everyone. It's showing a lot of these, but this was the type of product that we were looking at in Erank. So I'm just trying to find the top listings. I can either do that by searching for bestsellers, or I also will just look at Allura and just kind of get an idea of the top listings. I'm going to use the free version of Allura so that we have a good idea of where we can draw inspiration for our keywords. If you have Everbee, or even if you use the free version, I think it gives you a few searches a month, but that's a great tool for this too, because it automates a lot of this and you can actually pull the titles and tags directly from the listings. But we're kind of doing it the manual way with this. But that listing we already looked at in Erank, and it is like a top performer, obviously. Allura, let's see what we have with this one. This is from a much newer store. Okay, so this is great. I'm going to put that in a new tab. We will check it out later. Let's try this one. I mean, I can already tell by their keywords that it's going to be basically the same keywords that we've already found, but I do like doing this just to see if there's any patterns or anything, any keywords that we're potentially missing. Okay, so now I'm just gonna look at these listings and see if there's any additional keywords that we're gonna wanna grab. It's totally up to you how many different listings you look at. Obviously, there's no limit. I usually just pull a handful because at this point I've already done quite a bit of research in Erank and I have a long list of keywords. This shop is a newer shop, or a smaller shop at least, and basically all their reviews and all their sales are coming from this product. So yeah, we'll just want to pay special attention to these keywords because they seem to be working well for newer shops. We have wedding itinerary template. We have weekend in there again. They have Canva in there, digital download, event schedule. Okay, and then let's look at the tags. We have wedding timeline, wedding weekend, wedding schedule, wedding welcome, wedding day, itinerary template, wedding party, wedding organizer. That's a good one. Okay, so we're just going to repeat this process with the other items and just find any additional keywords that we maybe missed. Okay, so here's what our notes look like. For additional keywords, this is kind of just like an open space, and I'll add in if there's any other things that I'm thinking of that maybe I haven't seen yet that potentially could work. Previously, when I was doing research into the wedding niche, there was stuff related to like colors, and I think maybe like sage green was a color, terracotta was a color, so maybe like terracotta wedding itinerary could be a potential keyword, and then obviously we would make the wedding itinerary in that color. Okay, so I think we have enough great keywords to actually start drafting our titles and tags. So for the title, I do try to use longer tail keywords and I try to avoid redundancy. So I'll show you what I mean. Because the wedding weekend itinerary template was our golden keyword, I'm gonna put it first in the title and in the tag as well. And because it's already a long tail keyword, I'm just gonna put it just like how it is. You'll see on some of the other keywords like wedding checklist, I might make that like more of a long tail, so I'll add printable wedding checklist just to try to add as many different variations and keywords that we can get. Then I also would do like editable wedding timeline. So we'll just add in more and more. I think I can maybe add in a little bit more. So Canva wedding digital download. Okay, we're probably over characters. Okay, so then when it comes to tags, I don't like to be too redundant, but I do like to repeat the golden keywords. And because wedding weekend itinerary template is super long, it's not going to fit in our 20 character each tags, so I'm going to split it up. Apparently, according to Etsy, you can split up a long tail keyword into 2 different tags. I'm having the hardest time spelling this. Okay, and then we're gonna basically just do like all of our top ones: wedding checklist, wedding timeline. Let's actually do wedding itinerary. Okay, so I would just go through and fill up all of the tags, and then when it comes to description, one thing that you can do is go to an AI software like Chat GPT, and it can create the description for you. So let's hop over to that. Okay, so I'm in Chat GPT, and this is the prompt that I used. I usually always do something similar, and then I just will regenerate and edit and do whatever from there. But I like, basically all it's doing is just taking your keywords that you put in and just putting it in paragraph format, which is what Etsy wants. You're not supposed to just repeat your title in your description. You need to actually put it in paragraph format and make it readable. So to be quite honest, I'm actually going to regenerate this because I don't like Yeah, I don't like how they wrote that. So let's see. Yeah, this is better. The last one was a bit too flowery for me. So I'm just going to copy and paste this into the spreadsheet and obviously edit it and whatever and shorten it however I want to. This is just the first paragraph of my description, and then I have a lot more stuff that I put in the description. Like I'll actually put the what's included. I'll put, you know, instructions for how to download. I basically put everything that was in the listing photos. I actually will put in the description. And that stays the same basically across all of the templates, but I do like to switch out this first paragraph just for SEO purposes. Okay, so now we have our titles, tags, and description for our first version of this product. Now for subsequent versions, I will vary the keywords. I still want to use the golden keywords, but I am going to change them a little bit. So I'll quickly type those in and show you. Okay, so I don't have all of the tags added in here, but this just gives you an idea of how I end up changing and varying my SEO for each of the versions of this listing that I'm going to make. I am still paying attention to the golden keywords, but I do try to vary and add in different keywords where possible. And then to get new descriptions, you could just regenerate your prompt in Chat GPT, or you can even just manually change a few things. So then from here, when I'm ready to actually list the product, I just copy and paste into my listing. And that's how I do SEO on Etsy. So that concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please like and subscribe if you want to see more content related to Etsy and growing an online business. Best of luck in your own Etsy journeys. Thanks. See ya.